I'm gonna go over my squat routine and what I did. This was all done on Monday for whenever I was competing in powerlifting. So this is the routine that worked for me. This is how I know that like higher volume works for me, because I did a lot of low intensity programs out there and a lot of programs that just stuck to super heavy weight with no volume training, and everything was done through just a massive amount of loads. And then once I figured out I needed more volume in my training, and I got more volume in my training, my numbers shot up. They just started, like my muscle mass started getting bigger and my numbers started going up. So here's the routine. It's incredibly brutal, guys, but it's a high volume routine, but it's going to get you stronger if you want to get stronger. And this is how I did it for my powerlifting. I already got it all written out here. Okay, so on Monday, we will do squats, and then belt squats, and then hack squats, leg extensions. And then we would move to deadlifts. We would do deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, back extensions, leg curls. Okay, I just put abbreviations, but that's what these are. If this is your percentages. Now deadlifts is going to be performed the same way, but it's going to be opposing. I'll get to that later. So with your squats, let's say this is your 1 rep max for 100 pounds. For the sake of percentages, this is your 1 rep max, 100 pounds. So you're going to work backwards. Now you could do an 8-week program, a 10, 12, 16, 20-week program. All you have to do is know what this number is and how long do you want to take to get there, okay? So for the sake of this one, we're going to go with roughly around 12 weeks, okay? So you're going to start off with 85% of your 1 rep max on week 1. And what you're going to do is you're going to do sets of 5 up to 50%. So you're going to do, let's say, a set of 30, 40, and then 50 pounds, because that's 50% of 100. Well, I'm sorry. You're going to go 50% of this number. So whatever this, I just said, okay, Google, what is 50% of whatever 85% is of this number? So you ask Google, okay, Google, what is 85% of 392 pounds, 395 pounds? Then I'll tell you what 85% is. That's what this number is. And then you go, okay, Google, what is 50% of whatever this number is? And then that's what your 50% is. So you'll go like 30, 40, 50% for sets of 5. If you need more sets, do more sets. Do as many sets as it takes. Once you hit 50%, you do singles. You do 1 reps, 1, 1, 1, going all the way up to this number. Once you hit this number, you do this for 1 set of 5 reps. And then you're done, okay? Next week, you come in and you do 55% of whatever this number is here. Doing sets of 5, working up to your 55%. When you hit your 55%, you're going to do 3 sets of 5 of paused box squats. You're not going to sit on the box. You're going to squat down just till you touch the box. You're going to hold there for about 3 seconds, and then you're going to come up. You're going to go down. You're going to hold for about 3 seconds, and then you're going to come up. You're going to do 5 reps like that. You're going to do 3 sets of 5 reps just like that. Next week, you do the same thing. 50% for 5 reps of whatever this number is. And then you do singles till you get to this number. And then you're going to do 1 set of 4. And I put 90 because 90% of 100 is 90, okay? But you're going to put your percentages. Your 85%, 90%, 92%, 94%, 96%, 98% is what you're going to put. Whatever that percent of this number is. And then 55%, 57%, 59%, 61%, 63%, 65% of whatever your number is. If you don't know how to do the math, just ask Google. They'll tell you what the percentage is. Okay, Google, what is 61% of 420 pounds? It's going to tell you. And so this week will be a top set of 5, 4, 3, 2, 2 singles, 2 singles. And that's how the heavy weeks are performed, okay? The light weeks are performed the exact same way for 3 sets of 5 with a pause for about a 2 to 3 second hold on all of them. And that's how this is done, okay? Till you get to this number. This will be the week before the meet or your peak. So if this is performed on a Monday, that means you're going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you don't work out that week. So you take off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday you hit your meet. So you'll have 2 full weeks from this day until your meet. 2 full weeks from Monday to Monday and then to that Sunday. You don't train this again for 2 weeks. You're going to need the rest. Okay. Now for the deadlifts are done the exact same way. The only difference is when you do heavy squats, you do light deadlifts. When you do light squats, you do heavy deadlifts, and they opposed. I always like to finish off with my deadlifts on a light week and my squats on a heavy week. So this would technically be the other way because this is my squats. My squats I would actually like to be performed heavy on the final training week, and then my deadlifts I would like to train light my final training week, and then that way I would get a heavy week and then a light week and then a deload week. And I've never had an issue with my deadlifts ever being too weak going into the meet. I've never had an issue with that. Okay. Now, if 100%, if 98% is too close to your 100%, you can change this to 90%. You don't have to go up to 98% of your 1 rep max. You can go to 90%. And then the day of the meet, you can open up with 90%. And then your second attempt can be your old 100%. Then that will tell you what your new attempt should be. That's another way I used to do it too. So this could be 90%, and then this could actually be 75%. Then you could build from 75% to 90%. And then you open up with a 90, and then you do your old 1 rep, and then your third attempt is your new PR. That's the way I like to do it too. So, but I'm just showing you an example here of what I would do. But you could change the percentages. You could change them, because I would do this sometimes, and then other times I found the heavier my lifts became, the stronger I got, the lower this had to be. Whenever I was really weak and I only had like a 315 pound deadlift, this was fine, 98%. But when I got up to that 600, it was a lot harder to do these numbers. 85% of 600 for 5 was really difficult, but 75% of 600 was doable. So you could change these percentages. Just make sure you pay attention to how your body's responding. And like I said, and with deadlifts, it's the same way. But with deadlifts, what I would do, instead of doing a pause, I would do a deficit deadlift. So I would stand on a 2.5-inch platform, and I would do a deficit deadlift. So I had a longer pull. Okay, so that's another difference. Now, as far as it goes for accessory work, the belt squats would be done for 5 sets of 20. And then the hack squats will be done with 5 sets of 20. And then the leg extensions will be done 5 sets of 20. And then every week I would try to get 1 more rep or 1 more pound. So if I did like 5 sets of 20 and on my 5th set, I did, let's say 315 for 5, for 20, I'm gonna try to do 320 for 20. And let's say if I did 315 for 15 on my last set, I would try to do 315 for at least 16, right? For at least 1 more rep. So this is the progressive overload that I like to do for my training. I'd always try to go 1 rep or 1 pound heavier than the previous week with all the assistance work. This is the progressive overload that I talked about. Then we would do Romanian deadlifts for 15, not 20, and the back extensions for 20, leg curls for 20. So 20, 20, 20, 15, 20, 20. And then the deadlifts and the squats are performed the same, just opposing weeks. And then you would do paused squats on a box, and then you would do deficit deadlifts off of a platform. And this is the very simple routine that I did, and I got very strong doing it. Now, I did other routines, like I said, that were super high intensity, low volume, very, very, very high intensity. And I hit a wall really fast, really hard, and I did not improve very much. And then I went to the next high intensity program, and the same thing happened. And the next, and then the same thing happened. Injuries also started happening. Injuries started also occurring. I trained the longest with this, injury-free, and I got the most progress out of this for the longest. Now, after this, if you do this for 8, 10, 12, 16, however long you decide to run this program is fine. But keep in mind, after you run this program, take 1 to 2 weeks off of the gym after your meet, and then go into like a bodybuilding program. You can do something like this, but don't lift so heavy for about 2 months. Just do a light program. Don't do nothing crazy heavy. This is the mistake I made. I would like to jump right back into a powerlifting routine. And I would get banged up and beat up and I would get hurt. And this is what I truly believe led to a lot of my injuries. Okay. If I could go back and do it again, after I'd run this program, I would take 2 weeks off from the gym completely. And then I would give myself 2 to 3 months of just doing light volume bodybuilding for 2 to 3 months, just very light, just to keep the muscle there, right? Not to try to like build up and bodybuild or to cut weight and diet, just to preserve what I had and give my joints, my tendons, my ligaments, give everything a break from the loads. 2 to 3 months of just light casual lifting. And then I would go back into this. I would only do this maybe twice a year. So like from January to March, and then spend like April, May, June, just casually enjoying your workouts, doing modest intensity, modest volume. And then I would bang this out again. And then the rest of the year, I'd probably just enjoy the holidays and just do some light, modest work to keep up with myself. That's the biggest difference that I would do. And if I did that, I probably wouldn't have torn my pec. I probably wouldn't have torn both my groins. I probably wouldn't have torn my hamstring. There's a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have had happen to me that happened to me if I would have took a little bit less time always lifting so heavy. Because in the very beginning, the problem is I didn't start doing this till after I was already banged up from all the high intensity. I did so many high intensity workouts back to back without stopping, with no program deloads, with no programming of like, it's always just the next PR, next PR, next PR. All those programs require next PR, next PR, next PR. There was no downtime from them. And I was too young to understand, and it wasn't the information that was out there today. So my biggest issue was, it was always the next program, the next PR, the next PR. Well, this stopped working, so let me go to the next one. Well, this stopped working, so let me go to the next one. Well, this, and then, because that's all the information that I had. Now, if I probably would have done any one of those given programs and then took like 2 months off of it and just did volume and lowered the intensity and gave my body a break for 2 to 3 months and then went back to the program, I probably would have progressed a lot further on those programs. But that's not what those programs called for back in the day. That's not what they were about back in the day. It was all just high intensity and just go to town on it. Now we know better. Now I know better from experience. But if you want to know how I squatted and deadlift, that's how I did it. My numbers were never really great. My best squat in a meet was 455. My best deadlift in a meet was 606. In the gym, I did around 495 on the squats. My bench, I did 385 for pauses, for sets of 3, dead stops. And then in a meet, my best bench was a 330. And then in the gym, I did 485 for sets of 5, dead stops for deadlifts. The meet that I finally got injured, I was going to be going for like a 380, 400 pound bench, but I strained this pec and whenever I was training 3 weeks out. So then I decided, well, I was supposed to open with 340 and then go to like 360, 365. Yeah, 340 to 360, 365, then 380 on up, depending on how my second attempt went. And then when I strained this one, I decided, well, I'm just going to go 300, 320, 340, and this one tore off the bone. Whenever I was going to finally attempt to squat deadlift, to squat in the meet of 500, that was the same meet I was going into that I tore this. I actually, about a month out, I tore something in my hamstring and it bruised up real bad. So I was like, so I backed way off of the squats as well too. And then that same meet is the meet that I finally said, you know what, this is going to be my last meet ever. I conserved on the squats. I tried to conserve on the bench. I tore my pec. This would be the last meet I probably ever do. So it's time to go ham. Let me at least get a 600 pound deadlift in competition. So I went 606, even with my hamstring the way it was. At that point, I didn't care. I pulled 606. And that was the heaviest I ever deadlifted in competition and stuff. So, but all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, guys. Thanks for watching. And I hope this was helpful for those of you who's wanting to know how to strength train and do a powerlifting program and stuff like that. Pay attention to your body, guys. You only have one. All right, we'll see you next time.